somewhere along the misty shores of Blackfish Bay, where the lighthouse stands as a quiet guardian over the restless waves, a mystery once washed upon the sand, a creature unlike any other, glowing softly like the pulse of the tide, arrived in the hush of night, carrying secrets only the ocean could know. Tonight, you are invited to step into an old lighthouse keeper's world, where the sea sings in whispers and the waves cradle forgotten wonders. This is a tale of quiet discovery, of gentle curiosity, and of the mysteries the ocean shares only with those who are willing to listen. So settle in, breathe deeply, and let the rhythm of the waves guide you into a story that drifts between the known and the unknown, a story wrapped in the hush of the dreaming sea. Before we drift further into the mysteries of Blackfish Bay, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for being here. If you're enjoying these peaceful sleep stories and meditations, subscribing to Cloud Love Sleep Meditations is a simple way to support the space, and it helps others discover these gentle journeys too. Your presence here truly means so much. Now, let's return to the waves and see where the tide takes us next. The sea has always kept its secrets well, but sometimes, on the quietest of nights, when the moon hangs low and the tide whispers against the shore, it reveals something forgotten. And so begins the tale recorded in the tattered pages of the Blackfish Bay Lighthouse Journal, penned by a keeper whose days were marked by the rhythm of the waves and the flickering glow of the great lantern above. On a worn desk by the dim light of an oil lamp lies a journal, its leather cover weathered by time, its spine softened by countless readings. You run your fingers over the faded ink of the first entry, feeling the weight of history in your hands. As you turn the pages, the words seem to murmur to you, as if the keeper himself is speaking across the years. July 27th, 1898. The ink, though aged, is clear, the handwriting firm yet unhurried. The words unfold like waves against the shore. At dawn, I found it washed upon the sand, a thing neither fish nor fowl, its form unfamiliar, yet strangely gentle in repose. The tide had carried it here, leaving it nestled in a bed of sea foam, its skin the color of storm clouds and dawn-lit pearls. Not of this world, I thought, yet not unkind in its presence. It slept, if such a thing could sleep, its breath steady, its form curled as if dreaming of the deep. You pause, letting the words settle. The sea outside is calm now, its endless motion like a lullaby, rolling in and out in time with your breath. The lighthouse stands firm as it always has, watching over the waters, bearing witness to the things that come and go with the tide. The next page turns on its own, caught in the draft from the open window. Another entry waits, ready to be read, ready to tell its tale. And so, you continue, the hush of the night wrapping around you, the scent of the sea lulling you deeper into the story, deeper into the mystery that unfolded on those long ago shores. Inside the lighthouse, the old wooden floorboards creak underfoot as the old keeper moves carefully, cradling the small, glimmering creature in his arms. The night air still clings to its skin, cool and damp, carrying the faint scent of sea brine in something more elusive, something like morning mist over a still tide pool. He kneels by the hearth, stroking the embers of last night's fire, warming the stone walls of his quiet world. The creature doesn't stir, but its glow flickers softly, pulsing in a slow, steady rhythm. It is alive, though barely. The keeper sees a kettle on the cast iron stove, the gentle clink of metal breaking the hush of the room. He has tended this lighthouse for many years, watching over the restless waves, but never has the ocean gifted him something so strange, so delicate, yet otherworldly. His tabby cat, old Finnegan, perches on the worn leather chair by the window, his yellow eyes slitted with curiosity. He flicks his tail, but does not move closer. The cat, like the keeper, has lived too many years to be startled by the unexpected. The lighthouse keeper studies the creature's pale, opalescent skin, the way its faint bioluminescence flickers like lantern light through sea fog. It reminds him of something he once saw long ago when he was just a boy. The glowing tide, he murmurs almost to himself. He remembers the night his father woke him from bed, leading him down to the shore to witness a miracle. The waves had been alight, shimmering with blue and green fire, as if the ocean itself had become a sky full of stars. His father had knelt beside him, whispering, "The sea dreams just like we do, lad. And sometimes, when the night is just right, it lets us see its dreams." The keeper runs a careful hand over the creature's damp skin, feeling the cool smoothness beneath his fingertips. The sea had delivered it to him, but why? The kettle whistles softly, its call mingling with the distant hush of waves. The keeper turns, pulling a chipped ceramic bowl from the shelf, filling it with warm water and a handful of sea salt. He stirs it gently, the warmth seeping into his fingers. Perhaps the ocean had sent this creature to rest, to heal. He dips a cloth into the briny water and carefully runs it over the creature's skin, washing away the remnants of sand and dried seaweed. The moment the warm water touches it, the creature shifts, a faint, slow movement, barely more than a breath. Then a sound, soft, melodic, like the echo of a whale's call across a quiet bay. Not a cry of pain nor fear, just a hum. The keeper stills, listening. The sound fades into the hush of the lighthouse, settling like a lullaby. Old Finnegan stretches in his chair, sighing. The lantern light flickers against the stone walls. Outside, the waves roll on, their rhythm unchanged. and in the keeper's hands, the creature breathes. The night deepens, the lighthouse standing as a silent sentinel against the restless sea. Outside, the wind has gentled, sweeping in salt-laced air through the cracked window. The great beacon overhead continues its slow, sweeping rhythm, casting its golden glow across the waves, then pulling it back again, like a heartbeat in the dark. Inside the warm stone walls of the lighthouse, the keeper sits at his desk, the small creature resting on a folded wool blanket nearby. Its glow has steadied now, pulsing in time with the hush of the waves beyond the cliffs. The keeper watches it carefully. It is neither fish nor mammal, not quite like any creature of the deep he has ever seen, and yet something about it feels familiar, as if the sea has whispered of it before, in dreams or distant memories. He leans back in his chair, rubbing a tired hand across his brow. Old Finnegan stretches out on the windowsill, his tail flickering in lazy contentment. The cat has decided, in his quiet, feline way, that whatever this creature is, it poses no threat. And if Finnegan is unbothered, then so is the keeper. He reaches for his pipe out of habit and then thinks better of it. Instead, he hums, a tune that drifts from his lips without thinking. Something old and soft, a song his mother once sang when the storms rattled the window panes. A sailor's lullaby. Low tide, slow tide. The sea sings in the deep. Drift home, drift home. Let the ocean rock you to sleep. The words trail off, lost to the hush of the room. He does not expect anything, does not think much of the old song at all, really. But as his voice fades, the glow of the creature shifts, deepening into something richer, pulsing not just with light, but with a rhythm. A response. The keeper stills. The glow flutters in time with the melody, its pale luminescence dancing in slow waves, as if the very fibers of the creature hum in recognition. Old Finnegan lifts his head, whiskers twitching. The keeper hums the tune again, softer now, rocking slightly in his chair, letting the melody weave through the quiet. The sea beyond the window sings its own song, the tide rolling in steady breaths against the shore. The creature hums in return. It is not a sound like any bird or beast he has heard before. No chitter, no chirp, no cry. It is something deeper, something low and rolling, like the distant call of a whale, a lullaby of its own. The lighthouse keeper feels the weight of sleep tugging at him, a gentle pull like the tide drawing back into the vastness of the ocean. His journal lies open on the desk, his notes unfinished. But he does not write more tonight. Instead, he closes his eyes, listening to the song of the sea, the glow of the creature steady as the pulse of the waves. As sleep drifts closer, he wonders, had the sea sent this creature here for him? Or had it come to sing him to sleep? Outside, the lighthouse beacon turns, golden light sweeping across the endless dark, and inside, the keeper sleeps. The lighthouse keeper sleeps deeply, his breath rising and falling in time with the distant waves. The old stone walls of the lighthouse cradle the quiet, the fire in the hearth now little more than a soft ember's glow. Outside, the tide moves as it always has, whispering against the shore. The world is still, and then the dream begins. At first, it is only darkness, not the kind that feels empty, but the kind that is vast, boundless, and strangely comforting, like sinking into deep water without fear. The keeper floats, weightless, as if the tide itself has taken him. Then, in the distance, light stirs. Not the sharp, golden beam of the lighthouse, but something softer, something living. The glow moves like a slow breath, pulsing gently beneath the water, illuminating a world unlike any he has known. He is no longer in his lighthouse, but drifting beneath the sea, surrounded by quiet marvels. Strange, luminescent creatures flicker past. Jellyfish trailing ribbons of light. Great sweeping schools of fish shimmering like stars scattered across the ocean's floor. And deeper still, the water breathes with a gentle glow of unseen life, as if the sea itself dreams in color. The keeper is not afraid. A shape moves ahead, small and familiar. The creature, no longer weak, no longer resting. It swims freely now, weightless and graceful, its glow shifting like moonlight on waves. It circles him slowly, pulsing with a quiet recognition. The keeper reaches out, and though his hand moves through water, he does not sink. The creature hums, a song without words, a melody carried through the vastness of the deep. And as it sings, the ocean shimmers. The lighthouse keeper does not know if this is a memory or something else entirely, but he understands. The sea is alive, dreaming just as he does. And in this place, in this moment, he is part of it. The creature swirls around him once more before drifting upward, higher and higher, toward the faint silver glow of the surface. The keeper feels the tide pulling him too, not with urgency, but with a gentle insistence. The sea is returning him home. He exhales softly. The dream fades. The room is still. The fire has burned low, the soft crackle of wood breaking the hush. Old Finnegan remains curled on the windowsill, his tail twitching in sleep. and the creature. The creature is watching him. Its glow is no longer weak, no longer flickering uncertainly. It is steady now, warm like the hush of dawn before the first light crests on the horizon. The keeper sits up slowly. The dream still lingers, like the last notes of a song not yet fully faded. He does not question it. Some things, he has learned, are not meant to be explained. The sea had given him a glimpse of something vast, something unknown and beautiful, and soon it would take its creature home again. Morning arrives slowly, wrapped in a misty shroud. The lighthouse beacon has dimmed, its golden light now resting after a long night's watch. The waves move in a steady rhythm, unhurried, as if the ocean itself is waking from its own dream. The lighthouse keeper stretches, the weight of sleep still clinging to him like the last threads of a fading tide. The dream lingers at the edges of his mind, not a memory, not a vision, but something in between. Beside him, the creature stirs. Its glow is strong now, steady and warm, no longer the fragile flicker of the night before. It shifts slightly, its skin catching the morning light like mother of pearl beneath water. Its dark, endless eyes blink up at him, slow and knowing. The keeper exhales softly. He has seen enough of the sea to understand what must come next. The ocean had brought this little one to him in the quiet of night, and now the tide was calling it home. He stands, pulling his coat over his shoulders, feeling the cool morning air settle into the quiet stone of the lighthouse. Old Finnegan watches from his perch on the windowsill, his tail flicking, but he does not protest. The cat, wise in the way of old souls, seems to understand. The keeper gathers the creature in his arms, cradling it gently as one might carry a small, sleeping child. The creature does not resist, for it knows, too. The walk to the shore is quiet, except for the rhythmic hum of waves. The mist curls along the edges of the cliffs, softening the world into something half forgotten, half imagined. He steps onto the cool, damp sand, the sea stretching wide before him. The tide is high, rolling in a slow, sleepy embrace, welcoming the dawn. For a moment, he lingers. It is a strange thing to say farewell to something you do not fully understand, but feel connected to all the same. He wonders briefly if the sea has done this before, offered a piece of itself to the shore, if only for a little while. Perhaps it always has. Kneeling in the shallow tide, he lowers the creature into the water. The cool brine laps gently against his hands as the creature slips from his grasp, hovering for just a moment. Then slowly it begins to drift. The water swirls around it, the faint glow pulsing like a heartbeat. It lingers at the edge of the waves, as if offering a quiet farewell. And then a flick of movement, a shimmer of light, and the creature disappears beneath the surface, fading into the endless blue. The keeper watches the water for a long time, listening to the sea's quiet breath. The waves move as they always have, the tide rolling in, rolling out, constant, steady, unchanged. But he knows better. Something has changed. The sea is a little more mysterious today. A little more alive. And somewhere in the endless depths, a small, glowing creature swims home. The keeper exhales, rising slowly to his feet. Without a word, he turns and makes his way back to the lighthouse, his boots leaving soft imprints in the morning sand. The waves move beneath him, whispering their quiet secrets. And the lighthouse beacon turns, watching over the sea once more. The lighthouse stands quiet in the early morning light, its great stone walls absorbing the quiet of the waking world. The mist has begun to lift, revealing the endless blue of the sea stretching far beyond the cliffs. The tide has returned to its steady rhythm, carrying whispers of unseen wonders beneath its waves. Inside the lighthouse, the keeper sits at his desk once more. His journal lies open before him, the pages worn soft from years of ink and quiet thoughts. His pen hovers over the paper, hesitant, as if searching for the right words. Finally, he writes, August 13th. The sea has taken back what it gave. He pauses, listening to the hush of the waves beyond the window. Old Finnegan, curled upon the desk, flicks his tail but does not stir. The keeper dips his pen once more. I do not know what it was. Perhaps no one ever will. But I do not think the sea meant for me to keep it, only to watch over it, if only for a little while. He leans back, letting the ink dry in the morning light. There are some mysteries, he thinks, that are meant to remain just that, mysteries. But he does not feel sadness. Instead, there is something else, something quieter, a knowing. He closes the journal, resting a hand atop its cover. The pages will keep their secrets, just as the ocean keeps its own. Rising from his chair, he steps toward the window. The golden beacon overhead makes its slow, steady turn, watching over the waters as it always has, as it always will. The sea stirs, rolling in gentle waves beneath the morning sky. And, for just a moment, just long enough to wonder, he thinks he sees something. A flicker, a shimmer, a pulse of pale light beneath the waves. The keeper smiles. Then, with the quiet ease of a man who has made peace with the unknown, he turns away from the window and begins his morning. And beyond the cliffs, the ocean breathes. The lighthouse stands still, its golden beacon turning slow and steady, watching over the endless blue. The sea has reclaimed its mystery, as it always does, but some secrets do not need to be solved, only held for a moment, like the hush before the tide rolls in again. As you rest now, imagine the waves moving in their endless rhythm, carrying you into the depths of sleep, where the ocean dreams and whispers only to you. The night is quiet, the sea is at peace, and so are you. Sleep well and good night.